Right.
John Fetterman, he's warned of a constitutional crisis after his fellow Democrats turned a blind eye to Zohran Mamdani's vow to defy a Supreme Court ruling for Haitian and Syrian migrants. The court reinforced President Trump's power to end their temporary protected status. Paul, we heard Fetterman say on Fox that many of the members in the party of the Democrats are not calling out Mamdani or are defending him. I mean, this is serious stuff. What are the repercussions of the Democrats actually defying such orders?
Yeah, Fetterman's an interesting guy here. So, he says that he is a traditional Democrat and does not have any interest in flipping to the Republican Party, but he has become among the better articulators of the Republican positions that is out there in the public sphere. Now, he's right in the sense that this idea that you can simply defy federal law, which is also at the heart of a lot of the ICE conflagrations that we've seen around the country, Fetterman's right that this could lead to some even worse situations. And it's not a constitutional crisis per se, because the Constitution is clear on this. The federal law is superior under the Supremacy Clause, and that's inarguable. Furthermore, Mamdani has no authority to do any of what he's saying, and he doesn't even really have a pathway to do it. This is enforcement of federal law. It's been decided by the courts. It's gone back to the lower court now for further adjudication. Mamdani has no role in it. But I think Fetterman's point is the larger one, which is that if all the municipalities in America decide that they're going to make up the law as they go along, then what holds us together? If you know American history, this was the problem with our original iteration, the Articles of Confederation, when we didn't have a strong federal apparatus, and that's ultimately became the Constitution. So this is almost a pre-constitutional, as opposed to a constitutional crisis, a pre-constitutional view of America. It cannot hold. It won't hold. Fetterman is right. I don't think it'll ever get anywhere near it. And Mamdani is just whistling past the graveyard because he knows that he can't do anything like this. It's performative. And he also knows, I think, that this whole thing is an aberration. America is not turning communist.
No, you're right. It sounds like it's a big stunt, as usual, by the Democrats who just think that they know better than the rule of law and the Supreme Court ruling extraordinary. Now, Paul, a couple of moments ago, you mentioned potential Democrat candidates coming into 2028. So let's talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She said the other day that she won't rule out a future Senate campaign, that she was, in fact, inspired by those far-left candidates winning New York's primary election. This is what she said.
Are you more inclined to possibly run for Senate after seeing the results of the three races in New York?
I think, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be breaking any news here as I consider what's going to happen in the future. But I'm definitely inspired and encouraged by all the new faces that we're going to be sending to the state assembly and to Congress next year.
Are those campaigns, you think, a blueprint for Democrats nationally in terms of their positions on Israel, for example?
Well, I think it's not just about it's not only about our substantive positions, but also how we organize and run as well.
So there you go, Paul. She's inspired by those wins. Do you think that she is indeed gearing up for a 2028 tilt?
I do. I think, why would she not? I think it's there for her. Certainly the Senate seat, I think you'd have to give her the strong edge over Chuck Schumer, who I think has become increasingly irrelevant to what is the current Democratic base, especially here in New York. And when I say that, look, this DSA stuff is an aberration, I'm talking nationally. But in New York, it'll have a shelf life for a while. These things, they come and go in New York because it's a very liberal town. I'm here my whole life. The real question is whether she thinks she has a shot at president. Now, I've said here on the air in America that I think that if I were a betting person, I would be going with her for the nomination. There were two past situations where Bernie Sanders, hyper-left socialist, looked like he was cruising to the nomination, and the Democrats had a scramble, to keep him out, and it was something of a scandal in the party. So I think that Chuck Schumer's Senate seat is hers if she wants it here in New York. The question is, will she shoot higher? And that's where I think her luck runs out. She can't think on her feet. This is a woman, let's remember, who at one point said something along the lines of, we can just keep printing money indefinitely and it won't affect anything and hand it out. This is the view of economics that this woman has. I don't think she's qualified for the White House, and I don't think that anybody out there really thinks so either in the heartland and other areas of the country. Certainly not enough to put her over the top that she needs.
No, she's certainly not the sharpest tool, as they say, Paul. I mean, on the world stage, I remember a couple of months ago, but she was asked a question. I think it was
Right.
on North Korea. I think it was, or was it China? And she just fumbled the answer. It was just it was actually uncomfortable to watch. So this is a woman who can't give a straight answer on very basic foreign policy. Then good luck to her if that's her plans for 2028. Let's talk about Iran. Obviously, this has been going on now since February. Over the weekend, Donald Trump warned that the US could escalate military action against Iran after US forces carried out another round of strikes on Iranian targets. So, Paul, the fighting is continuing here. I mean, from your perspective, do you ever think that there will be a genuine chance of peace? Can there ever be peace?
Not with the IRGC in power there. I liken Iran to a little bit of almost like a battered wife situation, a battered spouse. The population there is essentially held hostage by this very, very backwards looking, almost primitive regime that wants desperately to get a nuclear device because they know that that'll give them an edge going forward for indefinitely. And so no matter what they say, that's what they want. And so while Donald Trump, I think at this point would settle for the straits to be opened, hostilities to cease, and for there to be some sort of a deal relative to assuring the world that Iran doesn't have a nuclear device, I really, really have to put myself on the side of skepticism. Nothing in the history of this regime shows that they are going to be willing to really cooperate and engage with the world. It's so foolish because if they could get over there, death to Israel and death to America pledged, practically written on their money. They have this just apocalyptic view of where they need to be, and it needs to be standing on the corpse of America and Israel, and of course to form a Shia crescent from Iran all the way to the Mediterranean Sea, thereby wiping out Israel. They have these ambitions. They don't make much of a secret of it. So I have to be honest, I'm a little bit pessimistic. I think we'll see more shooting. They're talking about a ceasefire as you and I are talking now, again. But I have to remain hopeful but skeptical because with this regime, you really can't count on logic.
No, you just can't trust them. I mean, they've proven themselves untrustworthy on every single occasion. Every time there is some sort of a breakthrough, it's the regime that is the problem. So, look, I mean, we obviously hope for the very best, but they haven't proven themselves worthy or likely to do anything at this point. I've got to ask you about Nancy Guthrie, this ongoing investigation. And now we've seen that a person has claimed to be in possession of a video of Nancy Guthrie with her kidnapper. The message was emailed to TMZ on Friday. It read in part, "I have a phone stashed in a secure location guaranteeing both the information it stores and the safety of the phone." It then goes on to say what it contains is my definition of delivering the kidnappers on a silver platter, a short video of the main guy with Nancy, the day that was probably her last, pictures of both involved, names, addresses and age. Can this really be trusted, Paul?
No. Let me take off my lawyer hat and put on my investigator hat, reach back into my prior experience. I have to tell you that it just doesn't hold water. There is a $1.2 million reward out for information leading to Nancy Guthrie. And this person is asking for a Bitcoin, which right now is at like 65,000. If you were so sure that you needed Bitcoin to disguise who you are, well, then ask for the $1.2 million reward in Bitcoin. It just doesn't make sense. The answers as to why this person won't take a screenshot of the information that he claims to have and send it to TMZ has something to do with him being worried about the perpetrators potentially knowing who he is. Not clear to me at all why that would lead to him. Anything that he gives up could lead to him. Furthermore, if he has the tradecraft to actually send emails to TMZ that can't be traced, which he's been doing regularly, then, of course, he should have the tradecraft to send a simple snapshot that gives us either proof of life or proof of what he's saying. He hasn't done any of that. I have to tell you, Danica, I think all of the letters, including the original two, are bogus. It's my estimation that the first two have all the earmarks of an Eastern European ransomware gang. They came in that way with a Bitcoin wallet, and some of the language just reverberates that way for me. There are just so many holes in this that I don't think any of it holds water, and I don't think this is going to lead to a solve. That doesn't mean they won't solve it, but I really wouldn't. They have to treat these things seriously, of course. You have to run down these leads, but until I hear otherwise, I'm really very skeptical of all these letters.
Yeah, and it's just a shame. It's just going on and on for the family all these months later. You know, fingers crossed for a breakthrough at some point. Paul Morrow, wonderful to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on, and your insights have been fantastic. Very much appreciated.
Thank you, Danica.